Hey guys, it's Mary from Jeeping and Teal, and you're listening to Trailhead Podcast. Ok, salut tout le monde, c'est Marie-France de Jeeping and Teal et vous écoutez The Trailhead Podcast.
Hello, Trailheads, and welcome to the Trailhead. Before the trails start today, we need to have a short safety meeting. Off-roading is an exhilarating but inherently risky sport. The insights and opinions that are shared by our hosts and any experts or guests on the podcast are intended to inform and inspire, not replace professional guidance. The Trailhead guests, partners, and any sponsors are not liable for any actions that you take based on what you hear. It is your responsibility to seek professional advice and make informed decisions, especially when attempting potentially dangerous activities. Always check current trail conditions and comply with local laws and regulations. Off-roading requires careful preparation and respect for safety, so ensure that you're well prepared before hitting the trails. And now that that's out of the way, buckle up and let the stories begin.
Welcome to the Trailhead, where trails start and stories unfold.
One, two, three.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Now here's JD.
All right, welcome to the Trailhead, everybody. How are we all doing tonight?
Good.
Awesome. I'm hot.
You're hot?
A little toasty up here in Washington.
Yeah, it's hot up here for once.
What's the temp up
Please.
there?
Yeah, how warm
It
is
looks
it?
like you're
Oh,
wearing a
let's see.
turtleneck.
Well, it says 76, but it's a little bit warm. We don't have as much air circulation in the house, so
I'm wearing a collared
okay.
shirt. This is what I wear to work now.
It's very strange
What
to
the
see you
hell?
in a collared shirt. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
like it. It's
Yeah,
unsettling.
you look like corporate America. You got like short hair and a collared shirt. You're working
Where's your
for
nose
the
ring?
man.
It's gone. Got rid of it.
Fair
Really?
enough. That's
All of
Yeah,
it.
got rid of it.
oh, that just seems like a sinus infection waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, welcome back to the show, Jason. It's been a hot minute since we've seen you, so it's good to see you back, and
Thank you.
hopefully we get in here on a regular rotation because we're all about to see each other.
Yeah.
And then Victor, welcome, sir. Welcome back. Nice to
yeah,
see you
glad to
again.
be back, guys. Thanks for having me.
I got my bitch with me.
Ah.
My bitch. All right. And then Pope and Randy, how you guys doing?
Oh, we're awesome.
We're awesome.
We're extra
Fantastic.
I'm
awesome.
so excited. They're so excited.
Can you
So
tell how
we-
awesome we are? I've got my Oktoberfest mug. If you guys don't know Oktoberfest, you come to Snowbird, you bring your own mug, you can keep getting it filled up for cheaper than it is to get one of these for the first time. And so, yes, it's coming up. It's actually going on till the 15th. We're out here at the Snowbird Ski Resort.
So, have you ever heard of the Great American Beer Festival?
No.
So Denver holds this thing every year called the Great American Beer Festival, and it's this giant thing that they hold down at the convention center. And you can essentially go and then just drink samples of beer all day and get schnookered and get back on the train and go home. And so I'm taking my father-in-law to it this year. And this year is also the year that I've discovered that I have some sort of a gluten problem, and it makes me super
Oh,
uncomfortable.
Oh,
Are you glutarded?
So, yeah, but
Randy's like,
my
"Don't
wife
say
was
that."
nice enough to my wife was nice enough to send me the link to. There's an entire section of gluten-free beer,
There is.
Yeah.
and so I'm here for it. So I'll hit that up so that I don't.
The stuff
kill
at
myself.
Snowbird is not samples of beer because we're in Utah. It's basically a lot of the local breweries have beers either on draft or in cans. There's a few stuff. There's good stuff in draft from the local breweries, and they sell them for about $8 a beer, $12 a beer. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know.
Last time I went was before COVID, so the inflation's probably raised it.
Well, yeah, there's that. That's always a
Anyway.
problem.
So,
All right.
yeah,
Cool.
back to our normal topics.
First of all, I would like to apologize to everyone here and our audience, and we will get into the whys and the hows later. But JD had a how do I say, a fuck up, and found himself stuck in the woods last week and unable to get back in time for the show.
The
So we
roulette
had to
ball
postpone.
landed on JD last week.
It did, and part of it was my own stupidity. So we'll talk about it.
All right. How's your Jeep?
All right. Jeep's still in the shop, but so I switched to. I didn't switch, but I'm switching. I think there's a different dealership here that's about 10 minutes further away, but I kind of decided to give somebody else a try this time. By yesterday afternoon, they had gotten confirmation that a brand new part was not going to happen within a month. It's going to take over a month to get, so they're going to get me a rebuilt part. They just had to get some forms and stuff done, so hopefully Monday or Tuesday. So I'm stuck at home this weekend, and I don't have a Jeep right now. And then you two have your Jeeps back.
Yep.
Yes, they're both home.
We're both in a
Look
really
at
good
you.
mood.
The
They're
doing
together.
stuff.
The Misfit went out last weekend to the Bonneville Salt Flats,
That was fun.
and I put him up over 100 miles an hour.
That was a really
on that
cool
surface.
video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a neat surface. It's so interesting. We could do a special on talking about it one day.
It feels like you're driving on the weirdest, stickiest styrofoam.
Yeah, it's like
It
Really?
sounds like that
it's
too.
sticky,
It's really interesting.
styrofoamy. It's kind of
And then
like-
hard.
it's hard at the same
I
time.
mean, it's salt. It's basically straight salt.
Yeah,
It's cool.
and as you're going over, it crushes the surface, and there's like a main racetrack area that's really super flat. It reminds me of looking at a hockey rink, but then when you get out on it, it has traction like Sand Hollow.
More than sand hollow.
More than
That's-
sand
I mean,
hollow.
sand.
Oh.
It's straight up sand.
It-
I mean, not
it's,
sand.
It's straight up salt, but it's kind of sticky because it's moist from the Great Salt Lake.
So it's kind of fun to
Moist.
walk on too, because it feels
Yeah.
like you're walking.
And you
on
can't really-
crunchy styrofoam.
You can't really destroy the thing. It comes back every year because this whole area gets flooded, and they basically cover the whole entire thing with brine from the salt mines that are nearby. And then every spring it's wet, and then by summertime it starts getting hot. And then this time
And
of
it
year
just
right now
dries.
is the perfect time to go out there. There's a bunch of events going on out there.
Yeah, it's fun.
But taking 42-inch tires 100 miles an hour is a feat. It's not easy to do with even with the 392.
It took salt flats.
What?
I mean, I'm geared for rock crawling too, so I'm not geared for doing
Sweet.
salt flats. If I was like geared on 38-inch tires with 388, I probably could have done a lot more than that. Or 488, I could have done a lot more than that. But yeah, it was fun. I'm glad it's back. Gem is in one piece again. In case you're ever wondering, you cannot buy just one Evo Spec King shock.
You can. It just takes 8 weeks to get it.
Yeah, it'll take
But
8
now we have a
months.
backup shock. That's
And
fine.
like the
I was
cost
going
is
to
like
say, for the two of you, I feel like a backup
single
shock
one.
is a good idea.
Yeah. And the nice thing is both of our Jeeps are running Evo Spec King shocks. And so we can swap it out for either one of our Jeeps if we have a problem. The other thing we learned this past week is that the Evo Spec King shocks, they say they're 14 inches. They're not long from eye to eye like a 14-inch. They're like 12 and a half or 13.
Jason's shaking his head. No, the fuck they're
Yeah.
not.
The real 14-inch ones are significantly larger, and you wouldn't be able to fit them without doing a lot of work or lifting your Jeep like 8 inches.
Yeah. I think I
that's
had, before I went to ORIs, I think my Fox coilovers were, I think they were supposed to be 14. And I think I was getting like 12 inches of travel. So, yeah.
Well, and I don't need any more. I actually have
What?
limiting straps.
What?
I don't need any more travel than that. That's fine.
Say that again?
Jason doesn't understand these words that are coming
I
out of
just
your
don't
mouth.
want my Jeep too high. I feel like I'm in this perfect little bubble right now where it's like sits low and it's got all the fucking shit. And yeah, I'm excited.
Why can't you just lower it then? I mean, I can go outside and lower mine to a lowrider right now.
Well, you can do that with ORIs, right?
Yeah.
Yep, you can't do that with coilovers.
Which I might have to do in the new garage anyway, because I don't know if it's going to fit. So,
How's your Jeep?
Well,
you
it's
almost
out. It's
ready?
out front, and it's it's doing a trickle charge on the battery. That tells you how much I've been able to drive it in the past month and 2 months. Um, I still have 5 of 8 teeth on the pinion that are missing.
Are missing
The ring.
Minor issues.
The ring still has. You can see like some stress fractures that are there on the gears, but or on the teeth of the ring. But good part is I have the ring and pinion sitting at Northridge. I have the appointment made next week. It goes in. Yeah, just got my invoice today. I'm real happy about that. So it's gonna be exciting.
Cool. I'm
Nice.
excited.
Yeah, and then I've
Is
got
that all you have to do?
no.
Oh, okay.
So right now when I'm driving down the road, it's awesome. I can drive down the road and I can go like this, and the Jeep stays straight.
Oh,
Oh,
Nice.
Not exaggerating either. It's like that. There's that much play in it. Of course, everybody's gonna say, "Oh, just take the slack out of the gearbox, go in and adjust it." Yeah, no, cannot anymore.
You feel like Mr. Bean driving down the road?
Yeah, yeah.
now
Let's
I'm
see, so-
driving the bus.
I don't want to spend the money on a. I was originally looking for a big bore that was ported, but then even used, you're talking like $1,000. And with all the repairs I've got going on with it, I have a stock box that I have as a spare. So I got a friend, and I'm not going to give out his name because I don't really know if this is a friend special or not. Maybe I'm getting taken advantage of, but I don't think I am. It's because it sounds really good deal to me. He's like, yeah, I can port it for you. Give me about 3 hours. I'll have it ported. And I said, how much? And he goes, $90. Okay. So I'm going to get another stock
sounds
box
like a good deal
ported.
to me.
Yep.
Sounds good to me. So I got to change out the gearbox or the steering box, the gears, rewire rock lights. I cut my radio, my GMRS by accident, so I got to redo those wires. I have a check engine light on the EVAP system right now. Not sure what that is. I got to figure that one out. Could be just a gas cap, I'm hoping.
Hopefully you don't need a inspection soon.
No, we don't do those up here.
Oh, you're lucky.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's the nice part about the county I moved into here in Colorado too. Yeah.
And if I was going to upgrade or upsize my ORIs in the rear, but I don't know if that deal's still available. I just haven't had time to do it, but I was going to swap my 14-inch ORIs for 16-inch ORIs for the rear. And yeah, that's about it. And then it should be good. I mean, I got to give it a bath and clean it up and take off a bunch of stickers and shit. And
You can get that all done in the next like 23 days.
yeah, I should be able to pull it off. I've done more than that before.
All right.
Yep.
Like I gotta fix a fuse in my lights, and I feel like that's gonna be a rough pull for me to get done between now and then.
Me and Victor were just messing around with my new truck, so we're also playing with that thing right now too.
Fuck, I forgot
saw
what
that.
thing I took the fuse off of on your Jeep when I fixed your lockers.
Yeah, that's my dream truck, so it's pretty badass.
Pope Randy, did you see that
Flash.
Jason has joined you in the inappropriately sized tow rigs?
Yes, I did. We
yeah.
saw it last week.
Oh, nice.
It's inappropriately sized?
No.
For me, it is. I drive a two-door Jeep. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right. Well, when you have to tow
And I don't
these-
have a
both
tow
of
rig.
these.
So
You
we're
tow
gonna-
two of
quick
them,
flash. Check the bumper.
Cute.
All right, get it off there.
Nice. Yeah, so it's like the F-350s are perfect for what we're doing. I think that without a dually, I'm basically at the max limit of what you can do safely. And I mean, with the airbag setup that I added, it feels so great to drive. Like we put both Jeeps on with that 35, 36 foot trailer, and it felt great. But it's like, holy shit, you have a big ass truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're hauling that trailer, it's enormous. But the worst thing is I commute with the truck to work because it gets the best mileage and the cheapest gas.
Of all of our family. Isn't that funny? The F-350 is the cheapest, easiest to drive.
I just hate parking it. I hate going around other trucks on the highway with it. I feel like it takes up the whole lane.
It does.
Yeah. It does.
How much, like, do you know what the size is, like a width versus from your Gladiator to that is? Like, is it like 6 inches or a foot?
It's probably, I don't know for sure. I bet you that the Ford's axle isn't much wider than the Gladiator's, though.
Okay.
But the Gladiator's running a negative offset, so the tires are just sticking way out.
Fair. It's probably just the body makes you feel like it's bigger than it is.
Yeah, the body makes me feel like it's bigger. I feel like I can't tell where the body is on the road. Where I know where the Jeep is.
Right. Yeah. It's easy to figure out where when you're pulling into a parking spot.
The tires on the Jeep almost come over the hood. I can see where they are.
Awesome. All right. Well, and so Jason, we talked about your Jeep and where you're at. Victor, do you have a functioning vehicle?
Of course I do. I mean, my Jeep's almost always functioning. It just depends if I'm in the middle of a project or not. But
well, that's what we do here, though. Is it currently drivable? Could you go out onto a trail tomorrow?
Yeah, he drove it here.
It's sitting out front in the driveway right now.
Yep.
Yep, I got to start tearing into a couple of things, hopefully before Trailhead. I'm trying to get the Jeep down there this year myself, so.
Sweet.
Oh, cool. Am I going to get to meet you, too?
Yeah, well, as long as I can make everything happen and figure out exactly how I want to get down there. You know it.
I feel this. Trust me.
It's a good time.
All right. I'm really looking forward to it now. Like I've been I've been trying not to get myself excited about it because this stuff tends to evaporate for me before it actually happens. But I'm actually getting excited about it now, so it should be fun. It should be really cool. To that end, the Trail Hero episode will be up this week. We're gonna have a big week of episodes. We'll have the Rich Klein interview. That'll probably be Monday, and then Tuesday or Wednesday, we sat down with Ben Burr from the BRC late last week, and just to have a conversation about the ass load of updates that we've had in the last couple of weeks from them. It'll be a big week for us. Plus this episode, which will finally go out and we'll get another live one out there.
Yeah, man, we covered a lot of ground on the Ben Burr episode.
Dude, we did though. We went for like an hour and 20 minutes. We talked about it all.
20 minutes talking about a lot of different topics in different areas. Rock Springs, the lawsuit with Utah and the Supreme Court. We covered a lot. So
that's good.
The Chevron deference ruling. There's a lot of things. So if you're into that, our only political topic.
Our only political topic is land use itself, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I'll try to get some clips of that for the next show. I'm trying to get better about doing clips on social media, so I'll try to translate those so that we can play them during the live shows a little bit. Because there was some really good stuff that we talked about, and to get some really good updates from him. And then, the Rich Klein interview was just awesome. It was really nice to kind of sit down with him and really talk about the event as a whole. And how it came to be, and he's a really cool guy, and it was really cool to chat with him. So keep an eye out for those coming up this week. Awesome. All right, let's see here. No new reviews this week. I did check actually to make sure. We are sitting firm at 18, so we only need 12 more, and then I start giving shit away, folks. So get your friends. If you want to do like Nathan and stuff the ballot box, go ahead and do it. I don't really care at this point. Let's just let's get it up there, man.
Does Nathan get an entry every time he leaves a voicemail? Does that count like that?
If it did, I'd already be sending him this shit. At this point, Nathan did get I did forfeit all 3 of his let's call it associates that left reviews for him and purported to about how great he was. I did forward those entries to him though, since they never got a hold of me. Yep. So he's already gotten a swag bag from me though, so I don't know about that.
Speaking of swag, we're going to see if I can start looking like I normally do here. I just got this in the mail today. That's going to be way too small.
Put on a little hat.
Yeah.
Come on, let's see it.
So,
Oh, that's not too small.
oh yeah.
Your head's too
cute.
small.
It
I
is.
like
I
that one.
cut
That's
all
a
my
good
hair
looking
off,
one.
man. But
Don't feel bad. We
That's a cool
okay.
hat.
You're
like
amongst friends.
Yeah, look at this. Even though I've got that going on right now.
yeah.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
Pope, that's the most hair I think I've ever seen you have.
It's grown back quite a bit. I've been going
These hats
bald
are
or
big.
short for a long
Man.
time.
It's not bald.
Okay.
That's white. That's just gray right there. That's not bald. It looks bald on the thing, but that's a lot of white.
No, I mean
right?
I've been running a shaved head for a long
Oh.
time.
You've run a.
I would-
It's
you've come back
distinguished
and
gray, Randy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to wear this very often. I'm going to keep it up as a trophy, I guess. I love this hat.
look. I
But,
think that's a good looking hat.
yeah, it
It's
is.
a nice hat.
Thank you to my
Anybody
friend who sent it to me. I wasn't expecting it to be on my doorstep today, but that was pretty cool. So,
Nice. I'm always a favor of the embroidered because they're getting away from that a lot of days because it's cheaper and they're nice. So, all right, let's get to business. The rest of this business real fast. Let's see here. Leave us a voicemail. Be on the show 719-408-0132. I'm still looking for somebody else but Nate. I love you, Nate, but we do need at least one other voice on these voicemails.
And,
I think that he.
and
should
Jason's
just come
back,
on
so
an
you can piss him
episode.
off.
I'm getting ready to the point, yeah. But I do again. I want to put him like in silhouette, like in black, like
So
an
you
interview,
can't
like we're trying to
see
hide
him?
his identity.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like we can't reveal who Nathan is at this point. So, all right. Let's see here. What else did I have to wanted to bring
Oh,
up?
we have comments today.
We do have a couple comments. And I want to get through my last two things, and then we'll get to all that.
Watch this. I can be on screen.
This is a quick note from Overland Expo because I walked around. I spent all day talking to a ton of people, and this is JDB and Bitter.
Look, I'm on
If your
screen.
first question to somebody who runs a show or of a podcast or any kind of a entertainment for the off-roading community, if your first question is, so what's your audience? How big is it? What's your numbers? I don't want to interview you, and I don't want you on my show. I'm looking at you, Maxxis Tires. I walked by their booth and I was having a chat with them, and then the first thing out of their mouth was, "How big are you?" I'm like, "Well, we're not having that conversation then, so you guys have a great day." Because I don't even want to talk to you. Like it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. If you believe in your product, you should be able to come on whatever size show it is. So you don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to you. Deuces. All right, that's all I had.
The clip could get posted on Gem and the Misfit. It could get posted on any of our various
I mean, that's the thing
Instagrams.
is, yeah, like we can talk about, I can tell you how many downloads we get. I can tell you how big our audience is. I don't want to. It's none of your business.
it's fine.
But more important,
It's fine.
right? As far as you're concerned, it's 5. I don't
It's like,
care.
yeah,
like
right now it is 5. Look, there's 5.
yeah, it is 5 right now at this moment. But it shouldn't matter to you if it's like we've talked with Ben about this, and I talked to Rich about this. Like, it doesn't matter what size your show is. If the audience is here, I can show you that the audience is here. Just do the show. If you're interested in promoting your product, like we want to give you a good voice, but I'm not gonna sit there and have a pissing contest with you about how big we are versus Snail Trail or Wheeling Wine and Whiskey or anybody like that. It's not the conversation worth having. All right, that was all I wanted to do was bitch
Our
about
show's Fireball and Bourbon.
that. Exactly.
No fucking wine and off road. What the hell?
Isn't right? No shit.
Just kidding. There's actually
all right.
great wine at the Rubicon. I'm just saying.
There was good one.
All right. So this is my last thing, and then I'll just open the floor. We could all talk. But I wanted to get this out because we're in this house every Saturday. We watch Saturday morning cartoons from the 80s. So He-Man, Gem and the Misfit, or not Gem and the Misfit, but Gem. I mean, Inspector Gadget, like you ask it, but this one really stuck out to me as a at the end of the show, and I think kids these days with their cartoons, I think one of the things lacking is the moral of the story at the end, where the person just kind of comes out at the end of the episode and is like, "Hey, this is what you should have learned," and hits you over the head with it if you didn't learn it. And this one made me laugh because I felt like it was appropriate to us.
Scooby-Doo and Transformers, I agree.
Yep.
There you go.
Transformers. Oh.
It sure is nice to spend a day in the woods. Nature offers us much to enjoy. Unfortunately, some people do things which hurt the plant and animal life in the forest, like Danavis in today's story. By taking the mother rose egg, he upset the natural order of things. So the next time you're in a beautiful outdoor setting, enjoy yourself, but be sure to leave things just as you found them. That way the next person can enjoy them too.
Shit.
Like from 1986, y'all.
I love it. They always had like the moral compass thing at the end. That's how our whole childhood was.
And I'm okay with it.
You get entertained for a half hour, and then they teach you something at the end. It's like the opposite of having dessert at dinner time, you know?
Exactly. So, all right. So that was the only other thing I wanted to get. What'd you say, Jason?
I like the comments.
I do too. Smurfs, Transformers. Okay. Why does He-Man sound like a 60-year-old man? That's totally, I agree.
Well, that's valid. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie with that's a good one.
It's probably because the audio didn't do well over the years. The more you know.
Really?
The more you know. It's true.
Beatrice, or Brian, what am I most excited for Trail Hero? Honestly, I'm just excited to see everybody. I mean, we've been doing this show for a year now, and like I really want to meet everybody in person. Like, it was awesome to meet Alyssa at Overland Expo, and she's going to be a Trail Hero too. But Jason, Pope, and Randy, and now Victor, like I want to meet everybody in person. Like I feel like I've been
JD on Satan's ball sack, level 15 trail.
Yeah, see, when you say that, I know it's fake. I know it's fake, and yet my butthole puckered when you said it. So it's all right. Let's see here. Just looking through the comments here to see if there's Smurfs, Transformers. Jesus Christ! When did he right?
I'm just excited. I'm excited to see everybody.
Though? That was a good one by there.
So
yeah,
Misfit
that was a bit on the head.
Driven.
That's a bit on the nose.
Misfit hasn't driven in Sand Hollow since last Trail Hero.
No, I have. We went for Memorial Day.
Oh, never mind.
With Yee Jeeps.
We usually go.
We used to go like 6 times a year, though.
Yeah. So this year, I forgot that we. Okay. Yeah, you have been down there.
I feel like last time when we used to talk about it, you guys were going out there on a much more regular basis. But this year has just been damage after damage to fix.
That's fine.
Yeah.
This year's been weird. Our Jeeps are.
They're both good right now.
They're coming
2025. I'm not going to say it out loud.
I'm not going to say it out loud. What the hell you were about to say you were going to jinx me.
Do you have a name for your Jeep, or is it just Yellow Jeep?
Loki. God of Mischief.
I don't think I knew that.
Huh.
Yeah. I've never put it on the Jeep, but if you look in the inner fender wells, I've actually got the horns. The mask is painted on the inside of the fender wells.
For some reason, I thought it was called Jizzmaster 3000.
Oh, no, that's just on the weekends when he puts a wig on. Yeah.
In the unicorn outfit.
Yeah. He does a drag show on the weekends. That's actually why I can't drive him this weekend. It has nothing to do with the steering pump.
What are you excited for Trail Hero?
I'm excited to see everybody again. And
I'm just ready for the chaos.
I'm gonna go jump my Jeep on the fucking sand dunes because I haven't been able to. And then
the first time
we really
went to Trail
do that?
Hero, we were only. Yeah, he's gonna jump his Jeep again.
Did you see the samurai that flopped? Sorry, Randy. Go ahead, Randy.
No, I'm just saying, like, the first year we went to Trail Hero, we were there for 4 days. We just went for the last part. And I thought I was going to die. I was so tired. Like, I can't even imagine that it was only 4 days. And now we go from, like, Saturday to the next Sunday, and we do, like, 2 weekends and the middle. And it feels like a month but for some reason, I just need it right now. I just want a month of chaos and then can come back to my like real life. So that's how I feel. That's what I'm excited. I'm excited for just the random pop over and do this, the random night run, the random glow stick party,
I'm excited to be Gem and the Misfit again for fucking 10 days.
I'm not bad. I want to hide my
we've been poping Randy for so long.
I love poping Randy. I want to be poping Randy. See,
we were
this
even
is the
poping Randy at
difference.
the Rubicon.
See, he likes to be like, he likes people to see his Jeep and tell him how cool he is, and I like to go wheeling.
Yeah, if I didn't want people to recognize my Jeep, I would just like build a tan one with no lift or something, you know.
I'm just ready
Jen
to
has
go
a
play.
giant. What'd you say, Randy?
I'm just ready to go play. I'm
Fair
ready
enough.
for the like whatever chaos this garbage bag blowing in the wind can bring. I am very
to you.
excited.
All right. I feel like now that we've kind of decided on what our plan is going to be as a group, at least early on in the week, that the rest of the week is just going to be a shit show. So I'm prepared not to sleep. I just don't. I'm.
It's not that bad.
I'm worried about my health. Yeah, I'm already worried about my health.
I like to sleep a little bit.
Well,
last year
I got a
we
hotel
drove-
room, so
we
there's
dragged-
that.
We drug
plenty of time to sleep
JoJo.
later.
We drug our friend JoJo Mamacita through on her old build. It was similar to yours.
Okay.
We didn't drag her through. She busted through.
Yeah, well, we dragged her onto the trails, and once she got onto the trail, she held her own pretty well.
I don't think there was dragging. I think there was like, please let me come. She wanted to be there.
But I'm saying, like, so we put her on trails that she wouldn't normally be on. Like, we put her on Double Sammy. We put her on all the other stuff with us and said, let's see what you can do.
And she kicked ass.
And, I think that, the trails look like they're, like, Double Sammy is challenging.
It's a 7.
It's a 7, but it's not impossible for a rig on 35s.
Yeah, no. He can do it. We just need to like let him feel comfortable before we throw him.
And especially if we have Aaron with us, then we can have you do all kinds of sketchy stuff that you wouldn't normally try.
Yeah, trust Aaron. He'll never
trust
throw
Aaron
anything in your vehicle.
Like,
I'm just kidding. I love that guy. I'm totally fucking kidding.
I trust Aaron. I've only met Aaron one time. I trust him.
Yeah.
So
my dog.
No, you're fine.
Garbage can.
No, that's okay. That's an appropriate response to that. What are you looking forward to, Jason?
A vacation.
I love you, Brian. Please do that. Please. He said, I'm walking up to Misfit and saying, man, Spartacus is looking good.
They're
brothers. They're brothers.
Our Jeeps are almost the same. I think he has better seats than I do.
And he has a better transfer case than you do.
Transfer
and
case.
He's got, let's see, how many things is Spartacus better than you?
Well, most
we're going to see if he can make it up Middle Monkey this year. Didn't make it last year.
Axles are better than mine.
What is what's his tires? He's on 40s too though, right?
He's on 42s. 42-inch Mickeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got quite a different build from what he had last year going into there.
Yeah.
They're pretty much the same.
His build is very similar to mine.
I think he was very frustrated that day at Middle Monkey. He really wanted to make it. And
so is he. He's never got up Middle Monkey either.
I've gotten it up in Gem twice, but I've never got up in Misfit. So I've driven her Jeep up it, but
because
mine.
If you can't get up Middle Monkey on 40s in a JL, then you shouldn't be driving on Middle Monkey.
Yeah.
That's the only opinion I have on that.
I mean, there is that.
it's to me, Middle Monkey is another one of those shoot obstacles.
Right. But it depends on your build too. If you're on 37s with Rockside Engineering rock sliders that stick out just enough, you're not getting over that thing.
No.
Well, I did once.
You're going to get wedged.
Flew over it, huh?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have to bump the hell out of it. And that's the discussion me and Mark had last year was I was like, Mark, you may be able to make it, but your sliders are not coming back out again.
Well, that's the problem with those engineering rock sliders is they stick out just enough.
Yeah.
Like 37.
I absolutely want to try
it again.
He has the Motobuilt.
Yeah, he's got the Motobilt ones. He has the same sliders I have too, and so I really need to try to do that obstacle again with the new setup. The Mickey Thompson tires are at least an inch bigger than the Nitto 42s. They're wider. They're 13 and a half instead of 12 and a half.
And your sliders are different.
My sliders are different. They're actually angled at an angle instead of like a big block. So
I'm actually jealous. Mine are so freaking wide and they're so heavy, but they were so cheap. So yeah.
You have Nittos? Are you Nittos?
I'm still running my Rubicon sliders.
Yeah, I'm running X comps. They're great in drifting. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. They work for me. So did Cooper's. Yeah. So did BF Goodrich. So did Milestar. To me, I don't know. I don't get wrapped too much in the fucking tire conversations just because I think they're all fucking tires.
Well, except for one brand, right?
Free ones? Which ones?
Free ones?
Well, no, I thought didn't you have a serious problem with, was it Nitto?
I'm not big on Nitto, and it's not it's not because Nitto is bad tire. I think Nitto's a great tire. I just like to be different, and like Victor knows this. You come to the Pac Northwest, that's all you fucking see up here. It's just like it's Nitto heaven up here. You are a loser. You are a loser. You'll get laughed at. You'll be social media freaking jokes nonstop if you're not running Nittos.
Well,
Victor, what are you running?
I'm actually running Jason's old 40 Coopers.
Oh,
so I'm on the SCT Pros.
I was really hoping you were going to say Nittos.
Right.
So the Nittos are thick or heavier, and they seem to have a better sidewall, which would be better for that kind of wheeling up there.
Well, Coopers don't have a very good sidewall if you run right into a tree branch.
Yeah,
no, that's what happened. That's what happened to Josh Rubistina and Vernal. He ran right into a tree branch and it sliced it. And
I tried to roll up on a berm last year in August, and
did you slice 2 tires?
Yeah, I sliced about that much out of the sidewall of my Cooper.
I'm gonna make another drink, but Victor, tell them how that happened, buddy.
Oh man, I don't know if I'm allowed to divulge that anymore, man.
Come on, just tell them.
All right, so we're down at
It was a straight stretch, by the way.
Yeah, it was a straight stretch. So we're down in Tillamook National Forest. We're hitting Fire Break 5. Honestly, not too difficult of a trail in the section we were at, but I was getting a little distracted by some text messages that were coming through to me right on the one section of the trail where we have reception. So there's a few pictures that came to me. I got a little distracted. I'm over here texting, replying, and enjoying what I was receiving. And all of a sudden, I'm kind of rolling up on the sidewall here. I didn't realize there was a stump and a big old jagged root sticking out.
Oh.
I felt a little bit of a bind. I kind of goosed through, and all of a sudden I hear this. Instantly, just my tire deflated to 0. Had a gash about 8 inches wide from rim to the tread.
Wow.
Yeah. It was impressive.
How many tire plugs did that take?
Well, fortunately, I had a spare mounted inside the Jeep.
One that big.
Wasn't that big.
Right.
Jason tried to put his head in there. He almost made it.
I almost made it. But no, nice. I'm not just, like I said, I'm just not big on the big tire conversations. Like my dream tire would be actually, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say it, so I'll leave his name out of it. But we're all going to see him, and he's going to be here. Let's see if people can figure it out. He's going to be breaking in his new build at Trail Hero this year. So, but he just got TSL SX2s, and I love those tires. So,
all right.
Have you ever seen them?
Nope.
Freaking amazing. Intercoast,
SX2s.
Super Swampers.
See, you lost me at Swampers, though. I don't need that.
I just like them. I just think they're freaking badass. They look like a big
they look
fucking
fantastic. Balloon. Yeah, they look amazing.
But
look at these things. Like, they're just monsters.
I've always wondered how they do in Sand Hollow.
Those are pretty.
I could see you, maybe not necessarily ripping those side lugs off, but I could see you definitely roasting those pretty quick.
So those tires there are very, very durable. If you get the sticky version, those lugs feel like fucking marshmallows. It's insane.
Really?
Yeah, and they are big.
I just think back to 2 years ago when we were going. What the hell was that night run we did with Ruby? But you just decided to roast up those tires on that one little bump.
That wasn't those tires. Those were the ones I gave you.
Yeah, no, I know. But that was on the Coopers. I just remember you doing that. And that's what I was
Those
talking
are the
about.
shit
those
ones I
sidewalks.
gave
You're gonna
you.
leave those behind
Yeah.
on the rocks if you do that.
Right?
Yeah, that was fun. I don't even know what that trail was, but to answer your question from earlier, JD, what am I excited for? Yeah, I'm excited, like he mentioned. I'm excited to see Ruby. I'm excited to see Joe. I'm excited to see you guys. The Arizona
Thanks. I'm glad we
boys.
made the list somewhere in there.
I cannot wait. Like I still got to figure out like when everybody's gonna get there. I've waited for a year, just like everybody else. But I need a vacation. I need a vacation, and
I'll be there Monday night, so just
Monday.
So
Well,
Yep.
This might blow your mind, but I'm shooting to get there probably Friday before.
you know. All right. That's
We're gonna
that's
be
a bit
there
much for
Saturday.
me.
We'll be there Saturday morning
Yeah.
Y'all are
or
insane.
afternoon, probably. We know how we're going to start packing, and then we're going to think it's going to take 1 hour. It's going to take like 3.
It's gonna for me. I may even leave Thursday and at some point. It just depends on if I have my daughter, which normally I do. But if I don't have her that day, I for some reason I might just leave Thursday and drive slower. But yeah, and I will be
I just
there.
know.
And then are you staying till Sunday?
I am,
Yeah. Cool.
and I don't care when I leave on Sunday. So
Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't care about that either. Like if I gotta
See,
drive home
Sunday's
late, I'll
one
do
of those
that.
things like we've woke up and done a quick run before we left, and then there's some Sundays that you're like, I need to get the fuck out of here. It's kind of like Vegas. Sometimes it like just gives you like, yeah,
I just want to sleep in on Sunday and
Yeah.
then be able to just get
And
up
then-
and not be in a
yeah.
rush. So I took off I took off Monday after that too. So that way I could just sleep in and be like, all right, I'm good. I'm not in a rush. I didn't forget anything.
Yeah. In the last 2
Yeah.
years, we were kind of in a rush both the last 2 years because 2 years ago we had a major failure on a friend that we were working on their Jeep, and then last year
It was Lily.
And then last year we had an issue. We were working on getting our way out, but then the trailer, the suspension on it reversed. The leaf spring reversed on us on the rear axle. So we had to like pop that, and it was like 1 a.m. or something when we were doing that. We hit the road at like 2 a.m. And unfortunately, I hadn't taken Monday off, so we kind of had to get rolling that night. I ended up having to call in sick on Monday anyways, but
So we could have fucking stayed anyway.
yeah. So
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
know how it
this
is.
year's gonna be epic.
You have a hard time calling in sick after your vacation. You're like, what if the boss is going to bitch at me? Or
I mean,
I'm at the-
fortunately my boss
yeah.
is pretty good about it, but yeah.
I'm probably just gonna stay on the mountain the entire time, outside of what we got planned, JD, and then also the night we have that plan.
Yeah.
Do you know that conflicts with the Concord Trails thing?
yeah.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we just have to show up there and make an appearance and bounce.
This is one of those
Figure it
things
out.
that's like show up
Yeah.
here, show up there, show up here, make an appearance.
Yeah.
Go over there.
I get. Well,
and they're all
we'll work
close
that part
together
out too,
because
but
those things are
Yeah.
like really close to each other.
Yeah,
that
I'm
is
not too
true.
worried about it. Just bring a change of clothes. Because I don't want to wear khakis onto the mountain.
I'm just gonna take mine off.
Okay, so you're gonna free ball it then.
Yeah.
All right. So you heard it here first, folks. Jason will be free balling at a Trail Hero this year.
Yes.
I mean,
Find him and
nice.
take your picture.
I mean, what's different from any other year Trail Hero with Jason?
Right.
I might even go
All
out
right.
on a night run that night.
Well, then no one's gonna see anything.
Nobody
Well,
would
the
see
Concord
anything
Trail
anyway.
things end at 10, and then you can go out on a night run after that.
Yep.
Yeah. There's
All
all
right,
kinds
fair
of.
enough.
I mean, this is Trail Hero.
This is Trail Hero that she says. I'm slightly concerned for my health. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out on the table.
JD,
Just for
listen to your body and
Oh, yeah.
be honest with
The-
everybody else.
here's the thing. I am, and there's a reason why I got a hotel for this situation and didn't want to camp, because I realized if I tried to camp, I was going to be too close to it and I want to be too involved. So when my body says go home, I'll go home. I'll go back to the hotel and chill out. It's just
JBLM's a good
I just
time,
know it's
though.
going to be fun.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be fun. Yeah, that's the thing.
Are they going to have the BLM open? Does anybody know the real answer to this?
If they're going to have the what?
So I keep getting mixed reports. Like, so there's BLM land right on the side of the mountain. 2 years ago, I stayed there, and I keep hearing that they're potentially going to kind of like block it off because they're having issues with access to the park, meaning people were not going through the front gate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Which, yeah.
I don't think so, and I don't think that they necessarily can. I think they want to funnel everybody through one in particular direction, but they don't. The one thing that they don't necessarily do is, it's essentially a takeover of the mountain for the week, right? But it's still open to the public, so anybody can come down there and camp and do whatever else they want to do if they want to contend with the 6,000 plus, vehicles that are there.
So what you just said is what made sense in my head too. But I mean, I've seen stranger things. Like, I just don't see how you shut down
and
BLM.
Rich didn't talk about it at all last week when we were on there.
Yeah.
He was actually talking about how all the different groups are working together to keep it open and have a good event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard anything about that. Like, I'm not a person to report. Like,
Probably a rumor
this
started by
isn't
somebody who wants that camping spot.
Yeah,
Doesn't
maybe.
want anybody else to camp there.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be camping this year, so I made a crucial error on when I purchased my truck, and my camper doesn't fit in the truck bed anymore. So, well, it'll fit. I just can't get the front legs past the dually. So,
that's not fun. So you hoteling it, or you Airbnb-ing it?
well, I got some friends down there I'm gonna be staying with, so. Normally,
that works.
normally I don't do that just because sometimes I'm known to get a little out of control. So, yeah.
No.
So me out in the middle of the desert is a good idea. Everything's safe.
Fair enough. All right. Cool. All right. Victor, what about you? Did you answer this question already?
Like I said, I don't really know exactly what my plans are. I'll figure it out when we get a little bit closer. But
all right. So if you get to go, what's your goal?
To drive his fucking Jeep and not have to be
All right.
passenger princess.
Yeah, right. I mean, hey, it's a good time being Jason's passenger princess. You get to sit there and watch him, and he gets to pucker while you're doing the crack on the Fallen. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, it's no big deal. And he's looking over his shoulder, looking down the crack. He's going, "Fuck, we're kind of getting a little high here." And I'm like, "I'm good." Dude, I was sweating.
It's a little risk for you, right? You just got to strap in and be good to go.
Well, I didn't. The first time we did it, I wasn't lined up correctly, and my passenger rear didn't come in contact with the wall. Mm-hmm. But I still climbed, and I thought I was going to be okay.
That's right, we did.
Yeah, and then once that came off the ground, your asshole goes shut, because it's the slowest, most uncomfortable thing, because there's nothing you can fucking do. It just goes
right,
and it went, and it just slowly sat down, and I was like, "Yeah, this is not good."
This is not how it's supposed to be.
Feel...
Yeah, but we backed up and we reset and we made it. But
yeah,
all right.
But
all right, cool.
Yeah, for me, I'm just excited to be down there again. Looking forward to seeing a bunch of people that I've met before, seeing Ruby, hanging out with Jason, meeting you guys, and then if things work out, be there for Eric's Conquer Trails thing. And yeah, I'm hoping I got some of those lighted whips and stuff off of Amazon, so I'm gonna hopefully throw those guys up beforehand. So I'm gonna be trying to lighten up.
Shit. Do I need? You know what? That's a question. That's a valid question. I need to ask. Do you need to have light whips for the mountain?
No, you just need a flag.
You have to have a flag.
You need to get a flag
At night.
Okay.
At night, you don't need to have light whips, but boy, they're sure nice to help people
it's
see
like
it.
If I'm gonna do one, I may as well do the other. Yeah.
Your flag, technically, I think the requirement is supposed to be 2 feet above the roof line.
Okay. All right. Good to
8
know.
feet.
Like
That's
8 feet off of your bumper. Oh, I thought it was, or not 8 feet. It's
8 feet off the ground.
maybe 8 feet off the ground.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a good mount point for it. It's
So
like
it's
a
about,
feet
yeah,
tall,
your flag needs to be about as tall as you, JD.
You know what? I appreciate you recognizing how tall I am before we meet in person, Jason. That's going to
You
make it a lot
try to-
easier.
What I always have tried to
So
do with
how-
my
how
flags
exactly-
is I try
how
to make
tall
sure
are
they're
you?
above the roof.
What are you?
I am 6'6".
6'6"? All right.
Yeah, I am as tall as Michael Jordan, and I have none of the athletic ability.
I'm a lot shorter in the sand.
Yeah,
In the
in the
sand.
sand.
Yep, just in the sand.
On
I
pavement,
sink.
though, you're good, right?
Yeah, on pavement. I'm
Pavement,
good.
you're like 7 foot tall, right?
I feel like it sometimes.
When I'm standing
Yeah,
next to
there
him,
it
at
is.
least.
Yeah, when Victor's next to
I'm not that short.
That's awesome.
you. Yeah, you are.
I wasn't gonna say shit.
Yeah.
I'm just basing this on background video I saw of you carrying a kegger the last time I saw you on the show.
What was happening?
You were carrying a keg?
The-
Oh, the pony keg. The
you were carrying
fireball?
the mini keg. Yeah.
Fireball
Oh,
keg?
yeah.
Yeah.
I've also-
like I said,
I've also-
shit show.
I've also carried Victor and his girlfriend at the same time.
I don't remember that.
I don't want to ask
Same
any
thing.
follow-up questions. No, I don't. I don't want to ask any follow-up questions.
It was like a New Year's fucking party. You guys both jumped in my arm.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. That was, I remember that now.
Had I been
Mark's joined
sober,
us. Hi,
I'd been
Mark.
sober,
Hey,
I'd be in the
Spartacus.
hospital.
Jason was trying to do like pull-ups or something. I think he had his arms up, and then we were both hanging off of either bicep. I think that's what we were doing,
Yeah, something like that.
or something. I can't remember
That's
now.
awesome.
I'm sure there's a video somewhere.
But yeah.
We were talking about you earlier, Mark. He's
Who?
on. Mark just joined us.
Yeah,
Spartacus.
Ow!
Oh, Spartacus, what's up, man?
Mark, my
We
fireball.
were only
keg's
mildly
out.
talking about you, and it was a good way of making fun of Pope. All right.
Well, Beatrice JKU, Brian said that he's going to walk up to Pope's Jeep and say, "Oh my gosh, Spartacus looks so good."
Oh, that's awesome.
Is it going to be your birthday again?
Twice a
Well,
year.
typically
Oh,
that
it is.
happens yearly, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, Trail Hero is not always on the same days.
Yeah, it's earlier this year. It starts in the end of September, I think.
All right.
It's
Whose
usually
birthday is it
September
normally?
15th,
Jason's?
something.
I don't know.
Marks.
Mark. Mark's
Not
birthday
mine.
is
Mark?
during Trail Hero.
Oh, he says yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right.
Birthday shots with Mark.
I'm bringing you a fucking keg of Fireball.
Wait,
See how
October
long it
6th.
takes
Is
you
that
to
like the
drink it.
last day?
Huh?
Is
October
that like
6th.
Yeah, that's like the last day. The son of a bitch wants us to do shots. I know,
when we
I
drive
just
home?
called shots.
There we go. Yeah, that's Sunday.
Please see the disclaimer that plays before this show. Do not drink and drive.
We do not condone or recommend any
We
of
do
our
not
behaviors.
condone any behavior that we or our guests ever endorse, if I'm being honest. We don't endorse anything that happens on the show. Let's just be with that. Let's just go with
Yeah.
that.
We're not responsible for what we do.
No, and we're definitely not responsible for what you do with what we tell you to do. All right. So real quick, I wanted to talk about Pope. We can bypass the news unless any of those really appealed to you to talk about this
Yeah, let's
week.
bypass the news today. That's great.
What'd you say?
I said let's bypass it. Our other topics are better.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we'll talk about Black Bear Pass next week. My favorite subject of fucking San Miguel County.
Oh,
So,
yeah, you and the sheriff,
last
man.
week- I'm gonna look. So quick aside. I am trying to. There's me and another person have reached out to the San Miguel County Sheriff's Office to see if we can try to get an interview, a joint interview with another show. So we'll see if that happens. I don't think they're going to be willing to do it, but at the very least we can say we offered and they said no.
Okay.
Like, hi, do you want to join us in our pitchfork meeting?
Right, exactly. We'll bring all the pitchforks and we'll bring all the fires, and hopefully you guys won't hate us by the time we're done. So last week, 2 years ago, or actually during the middle of COVID, I should say, I went to Drummond Island out in Michigan. And if you're not familiar with wheeling in the Midwest in general, there's not a whole lot. And typically, it's getting a little better in some places. A couple years ago, the Michigan Department of Naturalization Resources opened up a lot of what had been considered essentially fire roads out there, and administrative roads to the public. And they're kind of expanding that, and they're making that more available to people each year. So it's getting better, and the amount of access out there is getting better. Up until then, though, the major draw for them has been Drummond Island. And Drummond Island sits on the border between Michigan and Canada. You can actually see Canada from certain places and from the place I'm about to show you. And
is it an actual island, or is it a nickname like Rhode Island?
Nope, it is an actual island. You got to get on a ferry and do all that shit. And let me tell you a little fun story about getting on a ferry with a lifted Jeep with suspension, because now you're not only rocking on the ocean or the lakes, but you're now rocking on top of your suspension. So it's a nausea-inducing 20-minute ride.
Is this like a 2-car ferry or something? Because I've been on a number of ferries going over to see Jason and stuff from the Seattle side over to the Port Angeles side of the Puget Sound.
Really?
It's about they I feel like they fit about 30 people or 30 or 40 rigs on there.
Okay.
I just saw something that they're supposed to get a new one. They're supposed to get a new one that can hold another third or twice as many people. So, okay. But it is an actual island. Then. Yeah, it's still a very small island. There's like 2 hotels, one grocery store, 2 gas stations. It's not huge. It's just not huge. But it is. It's just this little island right next to Cockburn Island. I just wanted to say Cockburn.
I bet you did.
But you can't actually see Canada from it. And the
Cockburn
area that we're
Island
talking
in
about.
Canada, is that what that is?
What'd you say?
Cockburn Island, that's a Canadian thing, right?
100%. The Canadians are all about the cocks. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep, and this is what happens when JD's already finished his first cocktail for the night. All right. So essentially, and I'm going to share some video now because I took this video when I was there. This is let's see here. This is the overlook. This area is all limestone. It's a big limestone outcropping that leads to.
Is this you walking?
It's actually my drone flying.
Okay.
I actually didn't have any. I probably have footage of me walking this, but I was
I just didn't know if you were walking on the burning cock.
No, the burning cock's on the other side. Burning cock's on the other side. Yeah. But this whole area here is essentially what's in contention, and this area that you kind of see exposed from the dirt is the reason why the DNR did all of the stuff that we're about to talk about. A couple years ago or 10 years ago, they're saying this was all covered in dirt. And this limestone outcropping was not even visible. You could just get out to this place. And for those of you wondering, and then those folks in Colorado are going to laugh, this is one of the highest points on the island, and it's all of 150 feet off the ground. You can see Lake Superior and Lake Huron from the spot. It's kind of nice. It's pretty. It's very nice. But this is the contention. This part here. Oh, that's the wrong video. That's the other one. This one here. So when you go out to that overlook and you come back, the way to get out to that is via what's called the steps at Marblehead. And it is this whole outcropping of rocks. And this area that my Jeep is actually going up right now, last week or about a week and a half ago, was completely leveled by the Department of Naturalization Resources.
Thing. That's what we're okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine at Trail Hero.
Oh, I know. I'm fine with that. Yeah. Are you comparing that to this video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's fair. Yeah, I get that. I'd be fine. I know that part. I'm more stressed about you guys as being an influence. That's my concern.
That is a very valid concern for you.
I'm not as bad as everybody thinks.
All right, fair enough. Okay. Anyway, so the steps at Drummond Island, this is what they used to look like, right? This is what the whole part to the right there that you just saw, and essentially the part that we're going to talk about is the part that you see on the screen right now. And if you're listening to this show, you're going to have to go on YouTube to see this part. So let me show you what it looks like now there. And let's go back to my notes here and share this screen.
You can probably find it on Instagram searching for Drummond Island.
People are so pissed. Well, and I mean, no one's like. It's sad. Where's the pic?
And I have two feelings about it. And I'll explain in just a second. But this is it. So this area here that you see. Let me try to get this a little bit bigger in the window. It's not helping any. Okay. So this area here where you see the ATV is the area that you saw me driving up in that video. It is minivan rated now. It is simply...
They bulldozed it.
They bulldozed the shit out of it. Well, they didn't just bulldoze it, right? Like, here's the thing. These are limestone outcroppings. Like, they actually came through. There had to be more than just bulldozing. Means they had to come in and actually break rock. That means they had to actually separate pieces in order to get it down to a place where they could actually bulldoze it. And I'm not necessarily, and before we get started in this, I'm not necessarily complaining about the fact that they had to do some sort of work to close off the area that we were showing before. If you go on Google Images or on Google Maps, or if you go on any of the websites out there, basically any of the websites where people can post publicly, there's just an ass ton of people out there posting pictures where they shouldn't be. There's signs that clearly say you're not supposed to drive your vehicle out to the head of Marblehead, but people do it anyway. They've put rocks in there before and boulders in there before, and people with nice winches and stuff like that have been able to move it before. And so their justification is that they needed to get heavy equipment to move boulders down there to keep people from getting to Marblehead with a vehicle. So this picture does a little bit better. This picture shows the before, and this is a good perspective because it shows these two sets of trees, and then this is after. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I get, as being a person who, in Colorado here, we've got a lot of situations where there are people going off trail, and there's all kinds of problems with people going where they're not supposed to be. I'm not upset that they did something here. I'm upset with the way that they went about it. I feel like there's 100 other ways that they could have addressed this without it resulting in just destroying half of that obstacle, half of what makes this a Jeep Badge of Honor trail. Well,
and it's half of a natural formation. It's half of a natural waterfall that they just destroyed.
Often, when in Colorado, I tell people all the time, like it is not tyranny when the Forest Service does regular management of trails. We had one like that here called Pickle Gulch, and the Forest Service came through and they essentially pushed dirt into a lot of the obstacles and stuff that had formed over the last 10 or 12 years since they did maintenance the last time. That's not destructive. You're just putting dirt into rock areas that are just going to get dug out and reused, and people will get back into it. This is permanent. This rock is never coming back. This rock is gone forever. This obstacle is forever changed. This area is forever changed, and justified or not, there's a ton of people who have made the decision that that's it. They're never going back to Drummond Island, and it's really frustrating for a lot of us who have been on the island and seen it in person. So, Jason, I feel like you had something to say.
No, it's just I feel the same feelings you got on it.
I mean, so I shared a story with you, JD, about they did something. The Forest Service did something like this to a trail in northern Utah called Forest Lake. It's at the beginning of Forest Lake. There's a really rad rock garden It required some technical driving skills to get through it. It was fun. And the rest of the trail is fairly simple. But they had some... The lake at the top is actually supported by a dam that they've created, and the dam was damaged. And the result of it was that water was going where they didn't want it, and things were eroding away in places they didn't want. Well, you had to get some heavy equipment and some trucks up there to be able to fix that. And they came in and they moved all the boulders out of the way in the rock garden and flattened the rock garden.
Yeah.
But the thing that was nice about it was the Jeep Club that maintains that trail they actually took their time to come back and put as much of it back together as they possibly could. But it's still like, it went from being like a level 4 or 5 rock garden to a level 2 rock garden. You can just pick a line and drive straight through it now. You don't have to drive over any rocks.
Yeah.
But that wasn't done to harm the Jeep community or do something to the trail, or that was done because they needed to keep the mountain from eroding. But it wasn't as destructive. It's not nearly as destructive as what you just showed us. It was something that that area will get dug back out again soon anyway.
Yeah. And I think anybody who's been to Drummond Island will tell you there's probably 100 other ways you could have gotten heavy equipment to that ridge without destroying that permanent rock. So, and that's not the only thing. As far from what I understand, and I'm still trying to get some pictures, but there's a little bit of an incline on the way in, and I'm almost sure that they've leveled that as well because they needed that to get into the trail as well. So they've leveled. It's the way they went about it. I mean, we're talking about. This is limestone. They could have easily drilled holes and put in metal pylons or cement pylons, anything else. You put boulders there. I don't care how big the boulders are. It's just going to get 4 people with their winches together to pull those boulders out of the way because that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Hey, JD, I got to bounce off here. And
okay, man.
I wanted to say thanks for having me back on here.
Dude, thanks for having me. I'm glad to have you back, my man.
I will be back next Friday. And
sounds good.
I'm glad to be able to make these now, but I got to make some phone calls real quick here. And now I got to get my
All right, brother, man. Take care of business.
All right.
Okay, man.
We'll
All right, Victor. It's good seeing you too, man.
Good seeing you.
See you later, man. All right. So, anyway, so the big thing for Drummond, and I've reached out to the Great Lakes Four-Wheel Drive Association. We'll see if they get back to me. I got a little hot on some of their posts initially. But, to kind of invite them on to talk about it. And I'm more upset that they were involved with this and then that it didn't feel like that there was a whole lot of thought process into, that everybody signed on like, oh yeah, we need to protect Marblehead. But not a lot of people were involved in the process of figuring out how to make that happen without too much destruction to the island itself.
You read Nathan's comment. It said, "You might hurt the rocks, so we have to bulldoze the rocks to protect the rocks."
Yeah, that's what really bugs me about this is that we're so worried about protecting these trails and us driving over these things, but then they bulldoze other things, and they're worried about drilling into the rock and putting posts there when they took out an entire section of trail.
Yeah. And honestly, if they took out those boulders then to use to block off that trail, not one boulder they took out is something that anybody isn't going to look at as an obstacle to just drive over or move out of the way.
Is that you're going to look at it, there's a lot of people out there that are going to go, ooh, boulders.
Yeah, exactly. But you put in, you put in a row of cement pylons or metal pylons that people can't get past. People are just going to be like, okay, I guess I'm just going to park here, go check it out, and then leave.
Yeah.
So it's, Yeller Life in Instagram, she was like the most upset about it. And I think she's more local to it, and I get it. And I'm not going to go as far as to say I won't be back, but man, that really makes it hard to justify going back there for it when stuff like that is. And there are other parts in the island. the part of the island that I got stuck on, where I ended up face first in a tank trap, and you had to get winched. I had to winch myself out real fast before my engine got swamped and all the rest of that. Like, those areas are bad. Those areas have, because of the way, essentially on that side of the island, water comes up once a year and swamps that side of the island, and then people get in there and they dig it out, and these things get big enough to swallow tanks. And so it creates braided trails, and then they have problems with it. So that's another part of their reasoning for all of this. But again, I think it's a different way to go about it. So to that end, I want to real quick, just if you have, I'm going to share this with everybody as one of the things that they cited in their stuff was these images that they see on Google Maps and the rest of it. This guy, I will call him out, from Colorado, is out here on the edge. He is 100% past the barriers, 100% past the signs that are definitely there. If you see stuff like this on any place, if it's a Forest Service place that you're at in Colorado, or if it's on Drummond Island, and you see a picture where it's not supposed to be, there's a little hamburger stack or a little 3-button stack. Just report a problem, report it to them, and then give them a reason why. Most likely they're going to deny it. I've had that experience in the last week, and I've had a couple of issues with them. But yeah,
this is
keep reporting it.
That reminds me of Top of the World in Moab. So you can kind of see where confusion might kind of set in, that there's other places that look like that with a nice cool ledge that you drive your Jeep all the way to the very edge of it, and then you take pictures. And you can, and that's normal in that particular trail in that particular area, but it's, not going to be legal in the northeast.
Yeah.
In the
And
Great
honestly,
Lakes by the Canadian border.
Yeah, and I think in that particular spot, I think they're, some of these guys' complaints, especially in like the Great Lakes Four-Wheel Drive Association, it's like the signs are there, and I'm like, and as a person who lives in Colorado, like, signs are great, and I endorse putting them up there to keep people from doing stupid shit. But in all honesty, the best way to keep people from doing stupid shit is to block them from doing it in the first place.
Yeah. The signs, there's a million excuses why signs don't work, and at the end of the day, there's shitty people, or they don't understand the sign. Like, there's two kinds of reasons why you could end up out there. If you just block it, there's no reason, there's no confusion. Like, you can't drive your Jeep.
It's a problem. Just block it. Right. How much would it cost to drill holes for pylons there, as opposed to all the work you did to blow up the steps and all the public backlash that you're getting now?
You could have brought Jeeps in there with equipment to make it happen, I think.
And we would have made a better deal of it. And that's my only criticism of the local 4x4 groups. And I will say this to your face if you guys come on the show. I don't feel like you guys did enough. I feel like you guys signed up. You signed off on this because you're like, yes, people are terrible that they're driving out to the edge of this. And so we have to do something about this. And then you gave the DNR a blank check to do whatever the fuck it is that they wanted to do. And this is what they did. And then you're surprised that this is what they did.
I want to hear, like, I hope they come on the show and do something.
I do too.
I want to hear their side of it.
I'm not trying to be confrontational, right?
Because I have a slightly different outlook on it. It's not, I don't live there. It's not my trail. And so the local Jeep club endorsed it. So that must be what they want. But I haven't been to the island. I haven't wheeled it. I haven't experienced it. But in my mind, it's like, in Moab, don't you dare do that to my trails down in Moab. I'll come after you. But that's their trail, their home turf, and that's what they decided. Now I don't know if they understood that one thing was going to happen, and then it turned into that somehow, or.
Well, that's what their claim is. Their claim is that they didn't understand that that's what was going to happen. And that's kind of what I want to talk about too. Like, I mean, I get it. You're sold one bill of goods by the people in power, and then something else happens. But I don't necessarily know that that's what happened here. I kind of feel like, everybody kind of agreed that, people going out to Marblehead is a problem with their vehicles, but Nobody really checked the DNR on, okay, so how are you going to address it? And what are you going to do to address it? One of the things we do here in Colorado is that when you tell us that you're going to close, or even in Utah, right? And all these travel management plans, if you're going to close this stuff down, or if you're going to do something to address a problem, you need to justify all of the reasons why, and you need to tell us how you're going to address the problem in detail so that we can comment on it and tell you whether or not we think it's a good idea or not. I don't necessarily know that any of that happened here, and it doesn't feel like it based on what I've heard in the last week and a half.
And I wonder if it was the same type of a travel management plan type thing like Ben's explained to us on the show, or if it was something different with the Forest Service, how they came up with this.
So, long story short, the way I understand it is that the DNR acts a little differently than the BLM and the Forest Service. But essentially they were operating under the land on the island was bought under a program called the Pittman-Robertson Act. And that essentially means that it's a federal tax on firearms, ammunition, and archery equipment that they use for maintaining hunting lands and all that kind of jazz. And so then they tried to say, well, some of the rules around these funds say the lands have to be accessible by two-wheel drive, which is not true of the whole island. So that's a bullshit argument. And that there are some other things regarding, closed branches and braided trails. It's a big deal. And I really, again, you guys from the Great Lakes Four-Wheel Drive Association and the Drummond Island 4x4 Club, please come on the show. I really want to talk to you guys about this. I promise you that it's not going to be a pitchforks and knives situation. I really want to understand what happened here.
Yeah, it's your territory. We just want to know.
I want to understand. I want to understand if my my initial anger, which I've stepped back, was justified. And if it's not, it's not. And feel free to tell me it's not.
I definitely had holy shit, I can't believe they did that to a trail reaction. Considering how we're all so like, oh, we're driving over that obstacle, we're digging it out, we're ruining it for life. Okay, yeah, that's I understand that risk, and then when you go and destroy an obstacle almost in the same name, like, oh, we're trying to protect another piece of rock, so we're going to destroy this piece of rock. How do you choose which piece of rock is more important?
Right, exactly, and that's a valid. I mean, and that's a valid conversation to have too, right?
Yeah,
like what's the importance here? But it just doesn't feel like that was what was taken into consideration here. So,
is your Jeep president from California? Is it
like, is it worse for them to drive out to that point, or is it worse to destroy the trail? Like, what's so wrong with driving? I feel like
destroying the trail was worse than whatever they've done to block you off.
And I think that's the general consensus for most people who have seen the pictures so far. And I'm still looking for more. I'm trying to get better pictures of the area. I was even looking this afternoon to see if anybody had posted anything. It just hasn't. I don't think enough folks have been out there yet to get some nice, good, multiple angles of it. So I raised it up to Trails Off Road. It's one of those sites. It's been 4 years since I was out there, so hopefully we can. I think we have somebody local now that might be able to go out and check on it for us. So hopefully we get some good information on it soon. And then, like I said, to the guys at the Great Lakes Four-Wheel Drive Association and the Drummond Island 4x4 Club. I'm dead serious. It's not a fight. I really just want to understand what happened here as a person who's been on the island, and as a show that's trying to kind of bridge the East and West Coast a little bit to make sure we're all talking the same thing. All right. Let's do we want to talk about my stupidity?
Yeah,
and I think Randy does.
Yeah. I want to hear what happened. Last week, I know you talked about it a little bit, but there was more alcohol, and I don't really remember that part.
Randy doesn't even remember that we did a live last week.
I do remember we did a live, but I just remember that it hurt.
It hurt the next day.
It hurt.
Real quick, before we do that, Nate's, I'm really for more oversight, but put up cameras and ticket anyone who drives beyond the barriers. If a red light camera can mail you a ticket, I'm sure they could figure that out. I'm in the same boat.
We now have Starlink and ways to connect things to the internet all over the world. There's literally we could start protecting landmarks by putting up a discrete Starlink satellite that actually has a camera and it's run by solar power. It completely could guard like petroglyphs and parts of the trail you don't want people to leave, and problematic areas, the biocrust in Moab, all kinds of stuff.
Make a website that you basically shame these people and start putting their pictures up there, and people will stop driving off the trail.
And then you take their license plates and ticket them.
Yeah, give them $5,000 tickets, and then they'll tell their friends, and because they'll tell their moron friends who do the same bullshit. Hey, don't go do that because I got a $5,000 ticket that I was unable to fight, and it'll stop. It'll stop.
And $5,000 is a lot of money. That's
I know, but I'm just kind of being facetious.
Well, I don't even know if that's. I think that they might even fine you more than that, depending on what it is. But
I mean, if you go and destroy petroglyphs or do something like that, then you should have a $5,000 fine. I think.
Yeah, it should be at least $5,000.
Right, I say treat it like
we can restore them, but restoring it's not exactly the same as you didn't fuck it up in the first place.
Exactly. All right, and I'm trying to load Nathan's voicemail here because I failed to add that. All right, cool. Because Nathan's voicemail is going to leave you.
How far off camera was your Jeep while you're loading Nathan's voicemail?
So what were you doing?
All right. Well, I'll show you this picture first then. Let's see here.
Because I saw the picture, it looked like you wouldn't want to keep driving either direction.
So how did you get that direction? Like, I want to know how this actually happened.
How do we get there? All right. So, long story short, this trail I've been on before. And I have actually gotten stuck on it before. The last time I was out on it, and in the same place, I found out later. Shut up, Pope. I realized that there's an area there of these trails that is off. Okay. The long story. I hate to say it. How do I do this? The trail is a trail that used to connect all the way through. It's part of the Gulch trails that we've talked about with Marcus that are closed now past that county line portion. And then last year during a decision, or the year before that, the Forest Service and the county came to an agreement that they were going to keep part of that trail open past the county line and to the edge. And so I had not, and here a first list of things that JD didn't do. JD did not go back to his notes and his information and do enough prep work before he went out. Because prep work would have told him he had gone too far when he got stuck. So I had gone further. I went to the county line. The county line definitely does. The trail goes past the initial county line and has a small section of Forest Service before it dips back into the county that cares about trails. And then it ends again when it crosses back into that same county, the other county again. I got into the section that almost crosses back into the other county again. And I got my pictures, for a trail I'm doing for Trails Off-Road needs to have pictures for, obstacles in the beginning and the end. So I wanted to get all the way to the final place, which was essentially the county line. And I got to that place. I got my pictures. And then I decided that maybe the best way to go about where I was at, so I wasn't going to violate, the official trail anymore, was to try to back up the 0.2 of a mile or so that I'd come in on, which was very off camber, very loose dirt. And in hindsight was a terrible idea. I should not have done that at all. So I got, essentially what happened then was, as I started to get up, I backed up, and then my passenger tire got loose and kind of got down on the hill, and I couldn't get up into a place where I could get essentially in the direction I was pointed in the first place again. So I had to kind of try to do a 32-point turn and turn around. And that's how I ended up in the position I ended up in.
I was trying to figure out how you got forward and up. Like, that makes a lot more sense now. Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to turn around. And then once I realized, and this is a tip for you guys out there in Radio Land. Once you realize you're fucked, stop. Don't, and I did. And that's one good thing. That's one thing I did here was once I realized how screwed I was, I stopped. I stopped trying to dig out any further. I stopped trying to get any, I knew that it wasn't going to end well if I kept trying to dig out. I didn't have a rear winch, so that wasn't going to happen. And so I needed to reach out to some people. So that's how I ended up in that position.
So how did you get a hold of people?
So, first things first, we talk about it all the time.
Oh, your little handheld thing.
And I have good and bad things to say about it.
Okay.
I need to call Spot on Monday. I just did not have a chance this week, and I really wanted to call and yell at them loudly. All of my messages eventually got through. All of them eventually got through, but with a clear sky and no obstructions, I walked up a couple hundred feet from where I was at to get better service and better view of the sky. But within the valley, which was still a huge valley that I was in, I found myself waving my bullshit in the air, trying to get it to send and receive, images and signals. I also noticed that it was a real funky thing. I had to restart it every third message in order to get stuff to flow through. So I'm going to reach out to Spot and find out if it's a problem with the firmware or if there's some sort of a bigger issue here that I need to address with these guys. So I was able to get a hold of the people I needed to get a hold of. I got a hold of Colorado Rescue 4x4. Because of the day of the week it was harder for them to get somebody out. But they did manage to get a crew together by about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I got stuck about 12:30. The problem was, it wasn't really a problem. Over the course of the day, a couple of people in ATVs and motorcycles would come by, and all of those people, I said, "Hey, if you see somebody with a Jeep and a winch, send them my way." And somebody did. And thank God to them. They were nice enough to come out and help me out. And we did some math and we got it done and we got it recovered. It worked out really well. Actually, I was really impressed with.
All right. Let me put my seatbelt on.
Once we got it going. Yeah. Well, I don't need all that voice.
Awesome. All right. Here we go.
We got essentially a double line. There's a line here from the front of my Jeep to this tree up here, and he's got a line to a snatch block behind me with to my rear bumper so that I don't slide down while I'm trying to come up, and they got me back up on the trail.
Nice.
So it worked out. And actually, by the time I got off the trail, I was able to tell Colorado 4x4 Rescue and Recovery to stand down. They did not need to come out and help me out. But huge thanks to them for organizing a team, and I'm really sorry that they got 10 minutes from actually rolling on it before I got recovered. But that's on the list of things that I did right. I had emergency comms, that was good, that worked out properly. I had the recovery gear that worked out properly, that worked like it was supposed to when I was able to use it. And then Good Samaritans, like Jeep people are awesome. This guy with an XJ, I told him I'd love to have him on the show to talk about it because he destroyed his passenger doors on his brand new XJ build. I felt so bad. He got sideways, and I'll show you guys that video next week with Jason so that he can yell at me about being out by myself. The other thing I want to note to people who are listening, I was not prepared for an overnight stay. And that is something that I have talked about previously in the show, and I need to take a mea culpa for that I should not have been out there without enough water and food to at least be overnight without help. I was out on a trail, a 6-rated trail without a partner. Also not good, not out of a 6 out of 10, not sand hollow ratings. like I said, I didn't do enough research, and I was too comfortable going out by myself. I really got comfortable, so I think that was my biggest. If I had to take a step back and be like, there's one thing that I did wrong, and that was it. I got too comfortable. I got too comfortable going out here to do this. I tried to do it on a Friday afternoon before we had a show, and that was another bad idea. So yeah, I learned a lot, and I don't recommend that you all do it. I just don't. So are you happy now though? I wasn't the only person that had a failure. I didn't flip it, but
Yeah.
I still feel like I caused a kerfuffle.
I think anybody who has a problem on the trail feels like they caused all the kerfuffles.
Oh, I
That's
sent
why
Jen
you
a
help
message.
as many people as you can on the trail, so when you have a kerfuffle, you don't have to feel so bad because everybody else you've helped a lot of people, they'll help you, and you have to remind
One more time
yourself
for the
it's
people in
not
the back.
always
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Remind yourself it's not usually you, it's usually everybody else.
All right. Well, if Nathan is still with us, I don't know if he is, but we should play his voicemail before we get out of here. Let's see here. Let me get back to that
I think
portion.
it's related to what we're talking about.
It is, and I owe it to him to play it.
Oh, he said he's still
God, you're more annoying than a creative
he's still here.
voicemail message.
Believe it or not, George. Oh, your audio. Oh, there it is.
God, you're more annoying than a creative voicemail message.
Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beat.
Yo, 148, 3 to the 3 to the 6 to the 9, representing the ABQ.
Oh, shit.
I think I'm a little tipsy.
Hey, how's it going? Just finished up listening to the interview show from All for Fun. That sounds like a good time. It's quite a ways from me over here, but definitely got to add that.
Yeah, you could do it, Nate.
To make it out there one of these years. Sounds like a good time, definitely. Just hopping in my kid's TJ here, ready to head home from work. Figured I'd make my call. Had an interesting week this week, to say the least. So Sunday, this past weekend, while driving, my kid was driving a TJ, wheel fell off. Driver's side rear wheel just got the chat.
Shit.
Right down the road, she pulled over to the side, did real good, got in the grass, wheel kept going up into the bushes. Strangest thing, because I personally, with all the dumb shit I've done in a vehicle, never had a wheel come off. Lug nuts and everything gone. Nothing looks broken. Completely weird. I expected, snapped lugs, something like that, but nothing. So, of course, I get there and I go, oh, everything looks good. Let's put it back on. So my dumbass puts it back on. Must have had a hole oblong or something there on one of the holes in the rim itself. So put it back on, head down the road. I probably don't even make it 5 miles before the same wheel comes right back off. Twice. Yeah, that's insane. Time to flatbed this thing home. So I got it towed home, start looking into it. Still can't find anything wrong, and aside from now that rim just being completely mangled on the inside from coming off twice and smacking around on the lug studs and the brake drum there. So I go ahead, I replaced all the rear brakes completely, drum, shoes, everything, because that drum had hit the ground twice now, hit the street, bent one of the pins that holds the one shoe in, so I was like, nope, that's not worth the risk. These brakes are getting completely replaced. Actually replaced it with longer studs for the lug studs there, because I did see some people were talking that, since these TJs, they all originally had steel wheels, were running, alloy setup Pro Comp wheels, the wheels themselves were actually thicker, so you do get less, thread at purchase on the lug nuts there when you screwed in. It seemed like it was still plenty, but it was just something I was like, you know what, it's not that expensive, throw some new studs in here as well, brand new lug nuts all around. Actually went and then got all the wheels rebalanced, because I'd have my spare rim put on to replace that one that I toasted there, and I wanted the tire swapped over because the spare tire doesn't quite match and it's a lot more worn. But anyway, long story short, got it back together. I've been driving it, but it's definitely been a interesting week to say the least. New experience there with that happening. Pretty confident I got everything sorted out though, and she's running good. I guess as good as you could say for a 27-year-old Jeep with 142,000 miles on it, but it's pretty cool. So, just curious if any of you guys are coming to a weird scenario like that, where something kind Well, got disconnected because I was too long-winded. So what do you do then? You call back, right? Yeah. But I'm just saying, curious if any of you guys have run into anything weird like that, where something just kind of went out of nowhere with no warning. But can't wait to hear the podcast. Hopefully I can join tonight for the live show. Hopefully the live show happens. I do appreciate y'all taking off last Friday for my birthday. So thanks for that again. But
that was just for you, Nate.
We got your time off request.
That was just
Nate.
for you, buddy. Yep.
That sucks.
I mean,
is it? I mean,
that's weird.
Driving that much on it already, and then all of a sudden, it just and then he tightened it, and then 5 feet, and then it did it again. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And I mean, honestly, Nate, I'd be interested to find out if that holds for you for long term on that TJ, man. I mean, I never had a problem like that, but to be fair, I got to 120,000 miles and I sold my TJ, so I don't know.
We've had everything from the fan belt, the serpentine belt on Randy's Jeep coming off the pulleys. Because
I mean, there is that one. Those are fun.
There's a defect with the PSC pulleys, I guess. It could be a defect with the installer. But Josh had the same problem with 2 different installers. So I think it's an actual defect with the pulleys. They cut with the PSC, they just come right off. The belt comes off often.
Okay.
That's the weirdest one. I had a dumbass thing. There was a clamp on my hose on the steering box from the PSC that the guy installed. And the hose clamp was facing upward with the sharp part aiming up right to the radiator hose. And as the Jeep would flex and move, it would rub against that clamp and eventually got a hole sliced in it. And that ended up taking me 2 or 3 days to get resolved.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know what the hell the problem was at first. And once I figured out the problem, it was at EJS and it was a weekend and there's no shops in EJS, so you can't get your Jeep fixed. So it took me a minute to figure out how to solve that.
We figured it out, though.
We figured it out.
I know.
But that was one of the weirdest things. And then that same thing happened to me again later with the hose. The hose just kind of was still too long and rubbed against something and it got a hole in it. That's the dumbest, flukiest thing that I've ever had happen to me. And it happened to me twice. And I know how to fix it now if it ever happens again.
We even have spare radiator hoses.
Really?
But, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, one of the dumbest things that I had as far as a weird failure was concerned when I first got my JK, I was unaware of the plastic oil cooler problem. And if you guys are not familiar with it, a number of years ago, Jeep decided to switch out what they had been doing as regular metal oil coolers and oil return systems. They decided to swap it out with plastic ones. And I'm sure that is not a problem for 90% of this country. But here in Colorado, especially in the fall and in the spring, it is not uncommon to have an evening in the 40s and a daytime in the 80s, which means a 40-degree swing in temperature from nighttime to daytime, and usually pretty quick. And twice when I used to park my JK outside, it was in the spring and I would come out and there was oil all under the Jeep and I had no oil pressure because my plastic oil thing had completely tanked and I had to start over from scratch. So they replaced that twice. We'll see how many times they have to replace that. But the only reason they haven't had to recently is because I usually park it in the garage here. But that's my one weird one, I will say, is I walked out one day. I'm like, why am I just draining oil into the street? So, yeah, luckily I've never had a situation like that in terms I couldn't even imagine going down the side of the street and just losing a wheel uncontrollably.
No.
That's just not good.
Crazy.
So glad everybody's safe, Nate.
Yeah. And twice.
Yeah. Yeah. Double check those lug nuts. Make sure you're everything's good to go.
Yeah. Make sure they're torqued.
All right.
Good use for a torque wrench. Exactly.
Good use for that precision torque wrench I got. All right, I don't want to do. We've been on here for long enough. We went an hour and 40 minutes, but because of that one, I want to show the one video that I had out of all the videos that I had for the This Week in Fail moment. Let's do this one.
It goes totally
was that your Jeep, Nathan?
Yeah, was that you, Nate? It wasn't you, right?
Like, I want to know. I need to see that. Like, how does that happen?
I have questions.
Yeah,
I have questions about how this happened.
How does it hit a building all the way up there? Like, I'm insane.
Well, I mean, I assume at highway speeds, if that shit comes rolling off, it's going to bounce a little bit.
Yeah, but to second story of a house, that's insane.
I mean, yeah, it's relatively, that's impressive.
I mean, that's 16 feet
impressive
in the
jump.
air. If you think about it, it's 18. Well, I mean, probably 15 feet in the air.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's crazy.
No kidding. All right. Let me double check here. Let's see here. Live stream chat. Let's see here. Definitely. See, we had the Jeep for 14 months and drove it for a few thousand miles without an issue until then. Yeah, so it's like a new TJ for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
Yeah, drove it for 15 months. Never had an issue.
Good.
Tightened it back up and still had that issue. That's insane. I mean, what changed? That's confusing.
Yeah, I feel like something happened. Like, I don't know. That's really weird. All right, well, same wheel, but I'm glad it wasn't us, he says. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, well, we should get out of here. I've left enough for Jason to make fun of me and pick on me next week for going out by myself. So I'll share some of the rest of that video next week. Cool. All right. Well, I think it's been decided. I will be a trail hero on that Monday, and then maybe I'll get in. I mean, I'll leave in the morning, so I'll probably be in the afternoon. Maybe I'll try to harass you guys in that evening, and then we'll go from there.
I think that's the opening party too.
Sweet. Okay, cool. And yeah, we still need to work out. We should really sit down for like an hour someplace and do a show. It doesn't have to be like in the middle of the action or anything like that. Just whenever we have free time. I think people would like it. So
free time.
And Nathan, come on, man, get on the flight. What'd you say?
I just giggled. Free time at Trailhead.
Well, yeah, I mean,
we'll have to make time. There won't be free time.
We'll talk sideways about that. We got to talk out to the side about that because we don't necessarily want. Like, I'm actually okay with having an audience for that kind of a show. I'm not prepared to maintain it. I'm not prepared to like wrangle a crowd along with trying to do a show at the same time. So, cool. All right. Let's see here. Anything else before we get out of here, guys?
I think we're good. I think I'm just excited to go wheeling tomorrow. Both the kids out.
I'm excited for you guys. I will be thinking about you while my Jeep is in the shop waiting for a steering.
That's a trail. We'll talk about the trail next week. We got a golden ticket, so we're not really allowed to tell anybody where we're going tomorrow. But next week, you would love this trail. This would be a total JD trail that we're going on tomorrow.
Okay. Well, send me some video ahead of time, and I'll add it to the pre-work so we've got ready to show. Because I realized... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's just a really cool trail in northern Utah that, like, it's kind of a bitch to get to, so nobody wants to. So it's not as popular, but it's really cool.
I fucking love those. You know me. I love those trails. I love the trails nobody else wants, but I'm all about the rejects.
Well, and there was some questions whether it was closed at one point, and now we know that it's not, and
So cool.
It's kind of one of those fun little, like, if you know, you know.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
That's awesome.
I think we're going to ruin that because the local off-roading show is going to be on the trail with us. So it's going to ruin our secret.
Well, they're not going to tell you how. You have to, even if you knew where it was, you would have to like know where it is. It's not like you're still driving dirt for a freaking hour and a half.
All right, I want to give you guys a weird thing. So have you guys heard about like and I swear to God, we'll get out of here. Have you guys heard about like the comedy shows where like they just tell you where, if you buy a ticket there's going to be a comedian here at this random bar or this random place, and they won't tell you who the comedian's going to be. And sometimes it's a headliner or a famous person. Sometimes it's just a regular comedian. I'd like to start doing that shit with trails, man. Like, just I'm not going to tell you what trail we're doing. Just show up here, and then we're going to go do some cool shit.
It's kind of how we're telling people for Trail Hero. Just show up to your trail. Maybe we'll be on your trail. Maybe we won't.
Well, to be fair, that's how you planned your trip, though.
That's how we planned our trip.
We did plan our trip. We got
That's not like
passes.
That's literally our plan. That's literally our
We got
plan.
vendor passes, and we said, "All right, we can do whatever we want," and we'll just. And actually, one day we have decided we're going to just show up and get on a trail with no. We don't want to know anybody on the trail, and we're just going to go play.
Yeah, we're not bringing any of our friends.
We're just going to go on a
show
trail,
up.
and we're going to show up and see what new friends we can make.
Low key, I've kind of made that plan for myself as well. Just kind of go out, find someplace to be, and just kind of see who I meet on the trail.
Yep. That's kind of what we're going to do.
But then the rest of the time, you'll see us with our usual circus.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's there's circus music following me everywhere we go. It's fine. I get it. So, yeah, it's coming.
All right, cool. All right, well, that's it. I will save all of the rest of our This Week in Fail for next week. I will save additional stuff JD fucked up while he was by himself last Friday for Jason to comment on next week. Because I feel like that's the only thing that I feel like he's going to be disappointed about, the reason he left early. So, all right, cool. All right. Well, Nate, are you... Oh, wait. What is this? The we meet up somewhere for cooler coffee? Nate, just come out to Trail Hero, man. Come on. Yeah. Just do it. Just if you fly out, I'm sure one of us can find a seat for you.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll figure it out.
Post the coordinates a week ahead of time. That would be a fun thing with an overland group for sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay. Well, it could be a shit show too on top of that. All right. You guys got any liquor left?
I have a little bit in the bottom of this.
We have one last sip left.
All right.
So let me see how much I've actually gone through 2 cocktails. I'm
I could pour a shot of Fireball, but I learned my lesson last week.
Well, Jason's not here anymore, so I put the tequila down. I'm not doing that if he's not here. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us at the Trailhead. We will see you next week, and hopefully, we will see you guys at Trail Hero. So, thank you very much. See you guys next time.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
This thing was kind of lifted and a few things, but this guy drove it like it was on like crack, and he bumped over. He had to bump over. It was wet in a TJ, and he only had 35-inch tires.
Yeah.
And so he bumped over that and then skidded up and then stalled in that really bad spot. And I thought I was going to die. Yeah. But then he popped the clutch at the top and just over the top of it. I was like, dude, that's not how you're supposed to do that obstacle.
That's not how this is supposed to work.
I think it's funny we're referring to 35-inch tires now as he only had 35-inch tires.
Yeah.
Well, but on that obstacle with a short wheelbase, that's a pretty impressive feat to be able to bump it over that in wet.
I'm only slightly bitter about that. And the fact that 35s are now like the small end of the world.
Yeah, but with your wheelbase, you'll just walk right up that. It's fun.
It was really funny when Randi lifted her JK. She went from stock tires to 35s, and I was on 33s on my Jeep. And she's like, I just want to do 33s. It'll be nice. It'll be about the same size as your Jeep. It'll be great. And I'm like, no, you want to do 35s because everybody else is doing 33s, and you're going to emasculate most of the Jeeps on the road when you're out there with 35s. Now you're on fucking 40s.
13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was... I had her for 12 years, and we've had Gem and Misfit for almost
4 years.
Or 4?
Yeah, this year's 4.
2020, and this is 2024. Yeah, 4 years. So
nice.
Yeah, So that was a long time ago.
Yeah, Gem and Misfit aren't new Jeeps anymore. Like, when we were taking these things out when they were brand new, it was insane what we were doing. Now they're like fucking old cars.
I feel like I blinked and I had a decade-old car. Yeah, that's what happened. Oh, well. All right, well.
So I have a guest here, just so you guys know. He stopped by to keep me company. My friend Victor. I don't know if you guys met him before.
This fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
Hey, what's up,
I'm
man?
back. I joined
How
you
you doing,
on
bro?
the podcast before. How's it going, guys?
Sit down. Come join us.
I was probably drunk.
Have a seat, man.
Yeah.
You were.
Chair.
It was a shit show.
Yeah.
It was an absolute shit show that night.
Last week?
No, last week was a shit show, too.
Last week, at
least that wasn't an official show.
Last week was not an official show, but last week I haven't had that many shots of Fireball in my life. Like, I don't think ever. Even in my 20s, I have never. And I'm like, there's a reason why people don't do this to themselves. Like, that was terrible.
Yeah, if you don't,
Jason,
if you're not aware, we do our live
Some
show
tequila.
on Instagram.
It's only because you're back.
Here, let me.
This has been on my bookcase in the back.
What are we doing tonight?
Well, I'm drinking cocktails, but that's for the end of the show.
Randy and I are taking it a little easy, but we still have a nice stiff drink.
Yeah.
We're going out wheeling tomorrow. Both of our Jeeps are finally home.
Yeah. I have to be up at 6 a.m. to
My
get
battery's
out
charging.
to the middle of nowhere.
Let me see
our Jeeps are out of the shop. Let's go break them again.
Yeah, I literally picked it up from the thing, and I have a few things I need to install after this before we go to bed. So they go tomorrow. We're ready.
Yep.
Oh boy! All right, we'll do a vehicle roundup here in a second. Here, we'll go live.
Keep them cold for now, right?
Yeah. Okay.
As soon as Jason gets back, we'll hit the live button and we'll get this shit started.
Okay.
The shit show
Hey,
begins.
just so you know, if anybody starts asking questions about me and Lily, I'll answer as politically correct as I possibly can, and then you give it a few minutes, and I'll probably bounce out of here. Okay.
Oh, sure. I doubt anybody's going to be asking about it, so.
All right. I hope not.
I think you'll be good.
I appreciate it.
Yep. Cool. All right. As far as I'm concerned, we're just I'm not gonna be discussing it. It's people come and go on the show, so that's what happens. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna hit the live button. All right, we are live on Instagram.